Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Iowa State Cyclones Live here on the Voice of College Football Network. I'm your host, Levi Stevenson, joined by my good buddy, Carter Hansen. How's it going, Carter?
It's going well. It's been a long day, but once again,
Yeah.
ready to talk some football.
First 80-degree day of the year, though, so that
felt
was
amazing. I was able to have the window down on the ride into work.
Hell yeah. Yeah, so we've got it's pretty much just football this week because obviously men's basketball is finally like 100% settled in. We're just kind of coasting it out till the end of the year, or till October. Women's basketball is still rolling in some recruits. We're gonna wait till they get their whole roster figured out before we really dive too far into them. So we're back to just football this week. Obviously, it's got their spring showcase set up for this Friday, for this Saturday. And we'll finally get the first look at the offense and the defense, all the new players, new coaching staff, all that. Be nice to see that. And but we do have a couple bits of recruiting news we're going to touch on this week. First of all was I think the biggest one of the week, which was Will SLAGLE reconfirming his commitment to Iowa State. And this was a big one, I think, for the staff. Every staff, all the last staffs, you end up having this recruit, especially like an in-state recruit, that you get your first big in-state recruit as a staff feels momentous because that means you've still got a foothold in the state. You're still a brand where that can contend with Iowa and all that. And I'm really happy that this worked out the way it did because he still had his Penn State offer. He still had, he still had some SEC offers. I mean, his offer list is pretty insane. And they were able to convince him to go to Iowa State. Now he grew up a lifelong Iowa State fan, and his dad and his uncle went there. But he's a high enough caliber player where if he wanted to go to Penn State, he'd probably make pretty good money there, and he'd be at Penn State and all that. And he had lots of opportunities to go other places. He's he's a high 3-star he's a 4-star composite on 247. I mean, his offer list is, so he's got Arkansas, Auburn, Duke, Iowa, Kansas State, Miami, Minnesota, Missouri, Nebraska, North Carolina, Northwestern, Penn State, Stanford, Wisconsin, and both of the North and South Dakota State. I mean, he visited Miami like last week, and Miami they're back to being a big time program now. And they're a recruiting monster because they've got NIL up the wazoo. Mario Cristobal is a very, very good recruiter. I don't know what are your thoughts on this? Because this feels like a big deal to be able to keep him in state.
Definitely. And it'd be hard to lose somebody that commits at an Iowa State tailgate anyway. And so obviously that's a huge win. And it just shows the dedication that this new staff has to the in-state guys. And he's a top guy, and he's a top dog in the state for class of 27. And the fact that we were able to keep him just shows how locked in that this new staff has been. I'm really excited to see him. His offer list is insane. And he went on some very high profile visits. Like you said, Miami. I think he also went to Notre Dame,
went to Penn State,
Iowa, Penn State. Yeah. So
losing him to Iowa would have just that would have been doomsday, man.
Oh man, that would have been the end of the world.
That would have been.
No, yeah, I'm really happy that he recommitted. So I'm looking forward to seeing what else we can do. And it's also a really good sign as well. Like we have 3 of our now 6 recruits for class of 27 are O linemen as well. And I mean, we saw how important that those guys were in the portal as well. So, I mean, being able to lock him down is really key.
He's a guy that you can build a class around too. Kind of the way that Matt Campbell did with like Trevor Downing, where he was kind of the centerpiece of that class, and you got to keep him. He's always there. He's a fixture of the group, of the team. Will SLAGLE is just kind of another Trevor Downing, just a farm kid from Iowa that grew up an Iowa State fan, now is playing at Iowa State. And you can build that recruiting class around him and say, hey, we've got some elite offensive line players coming in this class. So you can talk to a running back or a quarterback or whatever and say, hey, we've got some dudes that are going to be blocking for you. I don't know if they have an actual shot at Landon Williams-Callis down in Texas. because he's got every offer under the sun. If they want to have a shot at him, being able to say, hey, we're going to have a really good offensive line blocking for you is a great way to start, a great way to continue that conversation.
Definitely.
And like I said, I don't know if they've actually got a shot at him. He's a full on 5-star composite. I mean, he would easily be the best commit in school history. He's the number 3 running back in the class. He's an incredible player. And I don't know if we actually have a shot at him, but we've got an offer on him, and we'll see what happens there. But I love being able to have a guy like this in the class. It's good vibes. He committed at the tailgate, and he decommitted with the coaching staff left, which I can understand that.
That's fair.
That's fine.
Yeah.
You don't know whatever, but he left the door open from the beginning and gave the new staff a shot. Took his visits to other places, which fair enough. And he took, obviously, like I said, we took it to Notre Dame, Penn State, Miami. He visited all these big ass schools that have a lot of money, and came back home, stayed home. If Jimmy Rogers wasn't delivering his own version of that Paul Rhodes speech when Alan Lazard faxed in his commitment letter, I'm not sure what he was doing there, but it's a feel good commitment that they can build on going forward. And I think it's a huge win for the staff.
For sure. Yeah. I also did see, I don't know if you saw the ratings bumps for the other guys as well.
I did not.
Bryson Thompson got put to an 87 on 247. And then Isaiah Hansen is now a consensus 4-star. I think he's rated as the number 1 player in Iowa now for the class.
That sounds correct. Yeah. I'll tell you what though. Funny thing about Isaiah Hansen. So last fall, I can't remember what game it was before, but a lot of times when we have an 11 a.m. kick or something like that, we drive out to Marshalltown and just stay in Marshalltown the night before, so we don't have quite so long a drive in the morning to the tailgate because we get there bright and early. And I remember that night before we got to the hotel room, we were just sitting, and there was a Newton game on TV, and I got to watch, and I was like, man, I like running. I was like, I like this running back or whatever. And I was like, oh, he's a nice little player. And, I think at the time he was just kind of like, obviously it was no stars, nothing or whatever on 247, just kind of like he was on the radar of somebody at 247 basically. And then I saw that we offered him. I was like, oh, that makes sense. I thought he looked like a nice player. And it turns out everybody else thought that too. So that's pretty cool. It's funny though, because like in his recruiting video on 247 or his picture on 247, he's wearing an Iowa hoodie at Kinnick. But which hopefully that ends up going down in the lore, like the old recruiting photo of Breece Hall when he took his visit to Iowa. So there's a picture of him on the internet of Breece Hall wearing an Iowa uniform and stuff like that. It's pretty funny.
Definitely seen that.
Yeah, but he's a nice player. I really like him. Having a 4-star running back out of the state, having Will Slagle, having Bryson Thompson. The 2027 class is off to a great start. Love where they're off to, and you can keep building on that. It's such good momentum, and and I think after the spring showcase we can talk about it a little bit too. But I think, it seems to me as though this staff has taken we can talk about it now too. That it seems as though the staff has has recalibrated the Iowa State's approach to recruiting, in that, they're going after the high profile in-state guys, which we've always done. But they're going after higher profile out-of-state guys too. And not, they're not just relying on trying to find diamonds in the rough like the last staff did, where they just went for the unknown guys that nobody was on and then hoped that they hit later on, versus going after lots of 4-star guys that, and just trying to win out recruiting battles. I don't know. It seems like they've shifted that.
Definitely. And I mean, you still see guys like that, those diamonds in the rough that we see. I mean, Bryson Thompson was unrated when we offered him and when he committed. But now look at where he is now. Yeah.
Rated. Yep.
Exactly. So, I mean, the fact that we're able to, and able to and also compete against those larger schools for the better players, for the 4 stars, potentially even a 5-star or 2 maybe down the road. But the fact that they're open to it and like actively pursuing those quality of players, it's really speaks to how dedicated the staff is.
And it seems to me like this staff they see Iowa State as a it seems to me like they see Iowa State as a high-end job, and they're recruiting it that way. Like the last staff, obviously the last staff had to build from not a lot. So they started out saying like, we're going to change the culture. We're going to exceed expectations, all this. And then eventually they say, well, we beat some expectations. Now we're going to keep doing this. We're going to keep setting records, all this, whatever. But they still always sold the underdog mentality, which I think is like a fine enough rallying cry for the fans for a while anyways, because we're used to being the underdog. So like, it's kind of like, it's easy to sell that narrative. But, when you win a Fiesta Bowl, go to Big 12 championship, then go to another Big 12 championship in 24, and you're pretty consistently in the eight-ish win range. And then say a couple of years ago, you win 11 games. When you're at that point, you're not really an underdog anymore. And in my opinion, you can't continue to behave like an underdog. And obviously, like NIL, rev share, all that, the money thing's a little bit different too. Like we don't have the same type of money that Texas Tech and BYU have. We just don't. But you can still approach the situation as though you're trying to punch above your weight class a little bit rather than just conceding. And to me, like at times it felt like the last staff kind of just conceded that Iowa State was. I really hate to use this phrase, but they kind of conceded that Iowa State was like little brother, and they kind of did. Like
I get what
they wanted to be. I don't know if "wanted to be" is the right word, but they sort of leaned on that. They used it a little bit as a crutch, as like this is how we're going to motivate people by saying we're the underdog and we're going to come up with, instead of just acting like the best pro football program in the state, which you can make an argument that over the last 5 to 10 years, Iowa State has been the better football program. Iowa's had some good seasons too, but especially over the last 5 years, I think you could make an argument that Iowa State's the better football program. It certainly had more momentum, and you could argue it has more momentum going forward, but or at least they got to recapture it this year. But this staff feels to me as though they are treating this as a high-end job, and they're going to recruit like it, and they're going to act like it. And so to me, that feels like a change in mentality of just how they're viewing the job.
Yeah. I don't want to take a stab at any of the old coaches and whatnot, but it almost felt like they were complacent with the quality of guys that they would get. And the quality of guys that they would go after. And I mean, we are in the mix for a number of 4 stars and high 3 stars. And like, especially doing that in the first full recruiting cycle is absurd. It really is. And it hopefully it's a sign of things to come. I hope that they don't just like start out hot and then just fizzle out, because that would suck, obviously. But hopefully they can carry this momentum into the season. And if we have a 6-6 season, and if we make a bowl game, if we win it, then maybe that opens doors for other guys that potentially look at this season, see what Jimmy can do in his first year, and give us a look and say, I want to be a part of that.
Yeah, and I think 2026 season can be a proof of concept. Just say, hey, like, I think if you get to a bowl game this year with the roster that they've got together and just the circumstances by which it came about, if you can get to a bowl game, I think that's proof of concept that Iowa State has now truly like reset its floor as a program, saying that we can lose the whole damn team and get a whole new coaching staff and still be a bowl team or better. We can still be a competitive program in the Big 12, and I think that's an important benchmark to reestablish. Like, if you go 5-7, I think it depends on how the 5-7 looks, but like 5-7 isn't necessarily a failure. It just, like I said, it depends on how you're playing, especially like once you get to like, November and December, Depends on how you're playing, but you know,
Definitely.
I don't like being able to go into this season, make a bowl game, even better, go to get to 7 wins, 8 wins, or something like that. Which I think with the schedule allows it. If enough pieces comes together, enough
Mhm.
pieces come together, they can get there.
Mhm.
But reestablishing that baseline, say, hey, we're here to stay. We're not going to fall back to the back of the Big 12 like everybody thinks. Is really important, and you can take that on top of the guys you've already got, and you can build on that and say, hey, there's a vision here. There's a clear vision. There's a clear path forward to getting back to competing at the top of the conference. And
For
I
sure.
think, they've got, they've got a lot of work ahead of them, but guys like Isaiah Hanson and Will Slagle are a great, that's a great start to that, that's a good, those are two valuable pieces to that puzzle.
Definitely. Definitely. Yeah. And I mean, like, look at what Campbell's first couple years were like. I mean, didn't really blow you out of the water with too many like super high off the radar like recruiting classes. I think it wasn't until 2020 or 2021 that that was one of the best recruiting classes that we had in a little while.
I mean, the thing you got to remember is like Matt Campbell's recruiting classes weren't actually all that high. They weren't all that high rated, even compared to like Paul Rhodes. I mean, let me see if I can find these class ratings by year. But like, I mean, they had some better classes. Like they had like the best school, the best class in history. It came, with Matt Campbell, but it wasn't way better than anything else. I'm trying to find. I see. I'm trying to. Okay, so last year, so the 20. Well, I'm not gonna. Let's say the 2024 class. Actually, we guess we could say the 2025 class. So, actually, hold on. God damn it! I was trying to find the. Okay, so the 2025 class, which was Matt Campbell's last full recruiting class, they finished 49th. For reference, Paul Rhodes' last recruiting class, which was 2015,
62,
which is not a huge difference. Like Matt Campbell's last class at 8-4 after having a decade of success, and Paul Rhodes, the year he got fired, didn't have like dramatically different recruiting classes. And that's, so there were 62. And so Matt Campbell's first class in 16, let's see, 247 is being kind of slow today, but so 2016 there were 56.
Yeah.
2017 got 247 is being hella slow right now. 53. Let's see, 2018. Now 2018 classes after you had your 2017 season. You're on a roll, Brock. You're doing all this. This is the Joe Skates, Trevor Downing, Brock Purdy year, and they're 55th. So now going into 2019, Brock Purdy is established as the quarterback. You've had an 8-4 regular. You finished 8-5, 8-4 regular season. You're in 2019 now. You're at 51. Let's go to 2021. This is after you've won a Fiesta Bowl, competed for a Big 12 title.
Theoretically, should have a lot of momentum.
Theoretically, should have the most. You have the most momentum you've ever had as a program, and you have the 61st class in 2021. And so like that's my thing here. The 2022 class, which I guess maybe you say that's the first real one that like they had their senior year after the Fiesta Bowl, they got to 49th. Like that's like as high as they ever got was 49th. like Matt Campbell never put. It's not like Matt Campbell was putting together top 30 recruiting classes. You know, even at the height of his power, he was still putting together like top 60 classes, but nothing great. And we'll see what this one shakes out as. But
it's sitting at 37 right now.
Sitting at 37 right now, because you've got a few composite 4 stars. Currently, like 247 has them all as 3 stars, but a lot of their composites are 4 stars. So, like, whatever you want to take that as, but it's a great start. We'll see what they can do, but yes, they've got 2 4-star composites and a couple other, and then Bryson Thompson, Cohen Hinsman are both high 3 stars. And Keaton Wallen, who we could touch base on a little bit here today. He just committed in the last like 15 minutes. Linebacker from Wisconsin. He's a 3-star composite. Had offers from Texas Tech, North Dakota State, Eastern Michigan, and North Dakota, I think. Yeah. And he just visited Wisconsin and Minnesota last weekend, but committed to Iowa State today. So he's a two-way player in high school, but he'll play linebacker at Iowa State. He's a nice player. We'll see if he ends up with like a Wisconsin or a Minnesota offer and see if that changes things at all. I'm inclined to believe, based on the timing of this, that may not matter, because he was at Wisconsin on the 16th, literally last week. And to me, if he thought a Wisconsin offer was coming, then he wouldn't have committed yet. He just waited.
Yeah.
That's what exactly I would think. But I mean, I guess it's possible that he committed to try to get Wisconsin to bite. I don't know, but that also doesn't seem like something that Jimmy Rogers would allow to happen.
No.
Like, if he didn't think like this dude's 100% in, I don't know that he would have let him commit. I mean, just based on like what we know about how he handled the transfer portal and all like the existing players when he got here, saying like, if you want to be here, we want we want you here, but it's gonna be on our terms, type of thing. We're gonna make sure that you fit the best for us, and if this isn't the exact right situation for you, then you can walk, type of thing.
Yep.
And because of that, it seems to me as though I don't see this as being a situation where he would let this recruit. I don't think he would have let him commit if he thought there was a chance that he was using it to like bait Wisconsin into an offer or something like that. So I don't know. We'll see. He's got a whole season left to go, but he's a nice player. Otherwise, I mean, 6'3", 205, so he's taller. He'll need to put on probably 20, 25 pounds. But
for sure. Yeah.
Overall, though, we watched a little bit of tape. I don't know if we've got a ton of time to watch it today.
Yeah.
We'll watch it another day. But does a good job filtering through traffic, gets downhill. He's a good, solid form tackler. Does a good job breaking down. I guess, I don't know. We can pull it up. We can watch it.
Just close out of it.
I know. I just saw that. I was just getting ready to click it, and you just killed it.
I'll get this pulled back up.
Yeah. So nice player though. I think like I said, once he gets a little bit of weight on him, he gets in a college weight room. I think that'll help him quite a bit. But the mold is clearly there.
Yeah, I mean 6'3", and I mean he's raw. He's very raw. So definitely he could come in and be a stud if he gets up to 230, 220. And if he's as mobile as he seems in his film, it's a really good start.
Seems like a pretty smart player. Seems like a pretty good athlete in general. I mean, because he plays 2 ways. I think he's a running back on the other side of the ball for him. So you got to be pretty athletic to be able to do that. So I think it's a nice pickup for them as well. But so it's a good start for them. Are you pulling up his film again?
It's not one to load right now.
Yeah, don't worry about it. We'll watch it at a later date.
That for sure.
But let's talk about the spring showcase. So that we're going to get our first look. I don't think anybody knows exactly what the format's going to be. If it's going to be like a spring game, I did see one comment earlier here from Donnie Rickles asking, "Do you ever see us in the future playing UNI for a spring game?"
No.
Nope. Unfortunately, this isn't like the NFL, where the NFL will do like little scrimmages and training camp and stuff like in mini camp and stuff like that. That just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen in college. Just because it's not doable, and I don't think they would anyways.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, it would probably just be just like if they did, it would be just like what our spring showcase would be, just offense, defense, very light. I mean,
very organized practice type of thing.
Definitely. Yeah. You don't want to send anyone out there even going 80% and have a chance to get hurt.
Yeah.
Like that's just not something you want to risk, especially.
Yeah, and that's part of it too, is like if you bring in another team, then all of a sudden, I mean, that brings in the more competitiveness, and all of a sudden then you've got guys playing harder and stuff like that. And they, the UNI guys don't really care about keeping Iowa State players safe in kind of the same way around. Whereas like if you're playing Cyclones on Cyclones, like sure, like the potential for injury always exists when you're playing football, but there's a vested interest in everybody just keeping each other healthy and safe. And I think that's what you want to do in spring ball. So I appreciate the idea, but it's just not a thing. It's not a thing in college for a reason. And I think it will continue to not be that way. Also, I don't like playing UNI. I just don't. UNI has scarred me too many times over the years.
Yeah.
And shout out if Jimmy Rogers can beat Southeast Missouri, he'll already be off to a better start than Camel got off to when he started here. I had to watch that damn game.
Even playing Drake too, man. Oh,
that was the worst.
Awful.
I went to that game. That was the worst. That was the worst football experience of my entire life. And we won the game. Second worst was I had to sit through the 70-7 Baylor game at the old Wallabies location over in West Ames back when it was kind of shit. And I had the worst French dip sandwich of my entire life while I was sitting there watching Iowa State just get face fucked by Baylor for 3 hours. It was the worst. It was terrible. It was the worst experience ever until I went to the Drake game. And
at least we won the Drake game.
We did win the Drake game. It didn't feel like it, but we won it, I guess, technically.
Won by default.
Yeah.
Just lucky more guys didn't get hurt.
So here's a good question here that we were this is kind of the general direction we were going to go with this anyways. But positions are we paying attention to the most? The easy answer is all of them. But
definitely.
I mean, without a doubt on offense, I really want to see what Jalen Rayner looks like. I mean, they're not going to like open him up or anything like that, but I want to see what kind of ball he throws. I want to see what his escapability looks like. I mean, we've seen him play against Iowa State 2 years in a row now. So like we know he's quick. We know he can do a lot of damage running the ball, but I want to see what he looks like in this offense with, that's built more around a power running game. Versus like at Arkansas State, they threw the ball around quite a bit. He had, Corey Rucker that was down there. He's a really good receiver. He'll get drafted. He'll get drafted on probably on Friday or Saturday. Good player. But that was his only guy to throw to. He just not a lot. It's pretty much just the Jalen Rayner show down there.
Yeah.
But up here he'll have a little bit of help. He'll have a power running game he can lean on. So I'm curious to see what Jalen Rayner looks like there for sure.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be paying attention to a lot of the small stuff, seeing his footwork, how well he looks in the system, how he meshes with the running game and the O-line as well. It's going to be, I think, the chemistry on both sides of the ball is going to be something major to look out for here. Not only with with all new receiving core, but also, I mean, we brought Fortenberry over as well, so he's got a familiar target as well. So yeah, it'll be fun to see how they all mesh together.
Yeah, and the one position, so the offensive line is an obvious one here too. I want to see like how they're gelling and just kind of see like how organized that unit looks, because right now the defense is almost assuredly ahead of the offense. The defensive line especially has got to be way ahead of the offensive line. Definitely. And that's fine. We are all expecting that because they're bringing in a lot of the defensive players from Washington State. They're bringing in more proven talent that at a high level, you know, Isaac Terrell and you know, Max Balloon and all these guys. You're bringing back a lot of talent, you know, even from from last year's roster and stuff like that. So the defense is going to be more established, or I would assume it would be more established right now. The defensive line would be more established than the offensive line. So I'm curious to see how effective this offensive line, you know, looks. Is it, you know, if the defense is getting pressure, is it because they're good, or is it because the offensive line is out of position because they're, you know, they're just not doing very well?
Mm-hmm.
The one position group that, you know, maybe it's a hot take, but I'm not really going to be watching a ton on Saturday. I mean, if they make me watch, it's great. But the position group I'm not going to be watching a ton on Saturday is probably the wide receivers. Because I don't think they're probably going to open up the passing game a lot. And like, I think we generally know who the first-ish group is going to be. It's going to be Dom Overby, Evan Boyd, you know, maybe Cody Jackson, Omari Hayes if he's healthy. That, like, we know that the starters are probably going to come out of that group. You know, and then from there on, it's just kind of like how they fit into a matchup, and it's where the targets go. So like, I don't see there's, like I say, maybe they decide to open it up on Saturday. Maybe I kind of doubt they will. I don't know. Just in general, you don't see like wide receivers like really pop off in spring games because they try to get a running game established and things like that. So I will be curious to see what Cam Petaway looks like. I mean, we know Aiden Flores got wheels and stuff like that, but Cam Petaway's got like game changer speed. So I like if they can get Cam Petaway some touches, especially in open space, be very curious to see if his speed looks as good in person as it does in on tape.
Definitely. You think we'll see another Dylan Lee performance for the spring game?
I don't know.
But
Dylan Lee is a player that I felt like everybody else was more high on than I was. Maybe it's because of the spring game. I watched his tape in high school and I seemed fine. He didn't blow me. His high school tape didn't blow me away, I guess. There's been other guys that their high school tape did blow me away, and I can't figure out why I could never figure out why they didn't play. But Dylan Lee was one that I was like, well, great. So like a great example here is like River Peppers. When I watched I watched River Peppers high school tape, I was like, damn, this kid this is a good player. Like he's quick, he's elusive, he's tough. He's got good long speed. You know, his high school tape doesn't look that much different than like David Montgomery. But he's got good long speed to pull away from guys and stuff like that. So I was really excited about that. When I watched Dylan Lee's high school tape, I was not as blown. Like there wasn't anything that popped that I was like, oh man, this kid's really going to take off. He just kind of seemed like a back. You know, not meaning to throw a jab here, but kind of like, remember like Sheldon Croney?
Not
a bad player, just a back.
Just another guy. Yeah.
He's a guy in the room that you can hand the ball off to and he'll get you a few yards and that's fine. And that's what Dylan Lee always felt like to me. I never saw him as like the heir apparent to Matt Campbell's running back legacy.
I think he did. He definitely did have a few glimpses in a couple games. I mean, whether it was in garbage time or what. But yeah, I mean, it would have been tough to crack the room even because we had Hansen and Sama both years. So, I mean, it's tough, but
I will be curious to see what Abu Sama does at Wisconsin to see if he starts or how that goes for him.
Definitely.
He'll get plenty of opportunities there. I will probably be not tuning in to Carson Hansen's games. But I will be interested in I will be interested to see what Abu Sama can do at Wisconsin. Just because that place has obviously has a long legacy of really, really good running backs. So, you know, granted under different coaching staff and all that, but this is such a good pull from Donnie Rickles, waiting for Cedric Johnson to pan out. Cedric Johnson, Chantrell Johnson was one of my favorite guys with the Rhodes era. He's super shake and bake guy, just couldn't stay healthy and all that. But yeah, Cedric Johnson is one. If you want to keep going back, Bo Williams, like there's lots of running backs that like, it's like, oh man, this guy might be really good. And he just kind of, nothing really happens. JJ Bass is another one from the McCarney era that people may not or was he a Chiswick? He's either McCarney or Chiswick. But if you go to Iowa State's, they're like their best all-time commitments. Let's see if I can find. I think they're like their best all time commit,
Really?
like their 6th best all time commit is JJ Bass. I was gonna see if I could find that.
I know Lazard is their top one, I think.
Al Lazard's the top one. I think JJ Cole is the second one, probably.
JJ Bass is third, and then
There you go. I say
Brock.
JJ Bass was a big pickup
Wow.
at the time, and we were like, man, his kid's gonna be really great, and just never did anything. Then Bo Williams came in. His first carry as a Cyclone got like 48 yards, and we were like, oh shit, Bo Williams, and never did anything. Then there was another guy. This is a real poll here, but if you've been probably too young to remember him. But there's a kid named Bo Blankenship. That was a nice recruit. He'd have been on I think he'd have been on the late McCarney teams, and he was here for a year. I thought it was really interesting. He ended up going to Ohio and having a really good career at Ohio, actually. But Bo Blankenship, I was convinced that dude was going to be good.
Apparently, he made it to the league as
Bo Blankenship did? Good for him. Good for him. Good for Bo Blankenship. I really thought he was going to pan out and be a really good running back at Iowa State, but and ended up transferring to Ohio, I think, and had a good career there.
Yep.
But
had 3 years at Ohio, ran for 1,600 yards in 2012.
There you go. Guy was a dude.
Huh.
So he'd have been a Chiswick guy that ended up transferring then. Okay. Yeah. But Bo Blankenship, shout out that guy.
Wow.
So, but anyways, long story short, Dylan Lee fell into that category. It was like he never excited me as much as some of those other guys that like I was like, oh, this guy's like when I watched Chantrell Johnson, I was like, this guy's kind of got the juice. If he can stay healthy, this might be a really good running back. And just never worked out. God, Duck Hollis. God, I forgot about him. Oh yeah, that's an old name.
Yeah, these guys are all before my time.
Oh, big time. Yeah. No, they were all like McCarney guys. Yeah, it's actually funny. Jarrell Brock, fourth highest recruit of all time. Just getting
look at number 7.
Yep.
Is it
Joe Skates didn't finish here. JJ Cole didn't finish here. Alex Mansky never made it, or it didn't finish here. Hunter Deo didn't finish here. Hunter Deckers didn't finish here.
He would have.
he would have. You're correct. He would have. Then like there's kind of a depressing little list. So Walter Nickel was a good tight end here. Didn't do a ton with it, but it was a good tight end here. Max Stewart, don't even remember that guy. Frederico Samuel, no idea. Curtis James never did anything here. Cedric Johnson, never panned out. Then he got Brees. Greg Gaines didn't finish here. I was convinced Greg Gaines was going to be good. Jake Campos, Sean Foster, both good players. Jeffrey Roberts coming in.
SLAGLE, Hansen. Benjamin Makalela.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about him.
Yeah, he was a late commitment, I think.
Yeah, he was
in the cycle.
Jacob Emming never stayed healthy. Never ever stayed healthy. Dom Orange, Andrew Keller, medically retired after a couple years.
Will Tompkins.
Wow, forgot about him. He was a good commit. He was a good commit for Iowa State too.
Yeah.
Yep. The Iowa State all-time commits 247 list is a kind of a shit show. Just it seems like there's some really good players on there, and there's some real
another name for you, Alexander Robinson.
Oh, that's just a good running back. That's not even like a wish you would have paid. That's just a good running back. He's probably in the last 20 years. Well, up until David Montgomery, Alexander Robinson was the best Cyclone running back of the 21st century, I would say. Stevie Hicks would have been up there. You had an interesting duo back in the early 2000s of Michael Wagner and Hiawatha Rutland, both good players. Rest in peace, Hiawatha Rutland, and Stevie Hicks. But when he left, Alexander Robinson was probably the best running back since Darren Davis. And Ennis Haywood, nice player. Rest in peace, Ennis Haywood. And then he was the best for a while, and then Yeah, then David Brees, all of that.
Can't forget about Mike Warren, his freshman year run.
Mike Warren did have a nice freshman season. It's a shame that he didn't work out under Campbell, but I think it was just a matter of a different running scheme that just didn't fit his style very well. But also Dave Montgomery is really good at football.
Very, yes.
It's kind of,
yeah.
Anyway, so moving to the defense for the spring showcase on Saturday, I'm going to say the position group I really want to watch is the defensive line. Iowa State has not had a good defensive line for a while. Like as far as a whole unit, they've had great individual players, Dom Orange, Will McDonald, all these guys, Jaquan Bailey, but they haven't had a great unit as a whole in quite some time. And I think the personnel and depth is there for this defensive line to be the best defensive line Iowa State's had
for sure
in years.
The pieces are definitely there. I mean, especially with the guys that we brought in and the guys that we kept as well. I mean, Zamir Hawk and Jace Gilbert, like they're going to be in the rotation. I mean, Zamir Hawk is going to be starting. Jace Gilbert could be starting. And then
you'll have Isaac Terrell in there. He'll definitely be starting. I would guess Max Balloon will probably be starting, but I don't know for sure. Trey Verdon. There's a lot of names in that defensive line room that are really, really interesting.
Yeah. Thinking back to when I was at SCSU when Jimmy Rogers was head coach there, he ran a 4-front and we'd be 8 or 9 guys deep on the D line.
Yeah.
So I mean, you'll definitely see something like that. It's just platoons in and out. So I mean, a lot of the new guys are definitely going to get run, whether they're from Washington State or like a Blake Hawkins, even from Iowa Western.
Yeah,
that guy was a stud last year. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to the D line. I think the linebackers are also going to be another group to watch out for.
There's a lot of depth there.
Definitely.
Who do you think will be the starting two? Who will be the first two that are out there?
I think Sullivan Schlemigan is going to be a name. And I think I would have to say Carson Willick. I mean, I really like his build and the fit in the system. If it's not him, then it's
and I like him starting as a returner from the last team too. I like the message that sends.
Yeah. And then if it's not Willick, then I would say Montrez Smith or Tristan Exline. I mean,
I'm a big Tristan Exline guy. Big Tristan Exline guy. His tape is elite. His granted D3 school, but yeah, this is a kid coming out that had a lot of really, really nice offers. He had a lot of really, really good Power 5 offers coming out of as a transfer. But I'm very excited about Tristan Exline.
Funny story that you bring him up. I was looking at the roster and I was looking at each of the position groups and guys, and I clicked on his name, and I would like there's a whole section above like his bio for awards and honors, and you have to scroll and you keep scrolling and keep scrolling. There's probably 20 lines worth of accolades that he accrued.
Funny. And they're like all last year too.
Yeah, a lot of 2025.
Harlan Hill Trophy, first team All-American, first team D2 All-American, second team AFCAA All-American. Dan Hansen, second team All-American. Dan Hansen, honorable mention All-American the previous year. D2 Football Elite 100, Defensive Player of the Year and first team D2 Football Elite 100 team. Dave Campbell Texas Football non-FBS team Defensive Player of the Year. All Texas non-FBS team. All Texas non-FBS team 2024. First team DC, all Super Region 14. Like they just go on and on and on and on. Lone Star Defensive Player of the Year.
And then you get to his 2025 bio. Played and started in 14 games. Team captain. 2025 Lone Star Conference Defensive Player of the Year. First team AP All-American. Cliff Harris Award finalist. Recorded 143 tackles.
143 tackles. That is unbelievable.
Most in program history. And then 19 and a half tackles for loss as well. Like, I mean,
5.5 sacks, a pick, couple forced fumbles.
And then you go back to the previous year, 104 tackles again, 16 and a half tackles for loss. That's just nuts.
It's insane. That's just he's an unbelievably productive player. And if that translates up to Power 5, he's really good.
Yeah, 6'1", 215 as well. So, I mean,
they'll probably put a few pounds on him, but like not a lot. You want to preserve that speed. I was trying to look at what he, because he had a nice offer list coming out of UT Permian Basin. I was trying to find his offer list.
Oh,
because I know he had a bunch. Now I think he might have only. I think he only ever like visited us. But he had like an Oklahoma State offer and a couple like I think he had a couple SEC offers even.
Yeah, I'm not finding his transfer.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I can't find his transfer offers, but I know he had a bunch of them. But
yeah, he's going to be a stud.
To me, like Schlimgen, Willick, X-Line, I think those are your
Montrez Smith.
Yeah, Montrez Smith. I think that seems like a pretty obvious 2 deep there. They'll keep mixing guys in and out. They might just put a third. They might put all three of. They'll just put X-Line, Schlimgen, and Willick all on the field at the same time, or whatever. If you're going into more of a heavy set,
yeah.
But
I do also like the depth that they have behind those guys as well. I mean, Rylan Barnes and Bo Goodwin, they both played meaningful snaps the past 2 years. Last year, and
absolutely.
So I think that depth is very important, especially with the injuries and the banged up guys that we had last year. You never have too many.
Well, the scheme shift will help with that a lot too, because now the linebackers aren't being asked to. They're not being asked to like fist fight like guards, offensive guards in the gaps and stuff like that when they're defending the run, because now they can set the edge on the outside and stuff like that, so they can be tackling running backs instead of worrying about trying to shuck offensive guards that have 50 pounds on them. And I think that will help quite a bit as far as limiting injuries at that position, hopefully.
Yeah, I think you'll also see that with the DBs in the secondary as well. They're not going to be asked to run stop as much as they were in the previous system.
Yeah, like hopefully we don't see like a situation like Malik Verdon and Bo Freyler where they're both just broken human beings by the end of their careers. Bo Freyler can barely can't lift his arms basically, and then tears his ACL in the Pop-Tarts Bowl, and then Malik Verdon can't play because he tried playing in the Big 12 championship game, but he looked like a half bionic man because he had so many braces on his arms and everything. It's just kind of God bless those guys for laying it on the line.
They're studs, yeah.
But like, hopefully you don't have to end up with that type of situation again where you have, 2 of your best safeties that they're just broken physically.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hopefully you don't end up with a situation like that. But the corners, like I said, I don't know that they'll test a lot of deep balls. So like, I don't think you're going to see like the corners get super tested or anything like that. I mean, maybe, but I don't think they probably will. I think the offenses will really try to establish the ground. They'll try to get Aiden Flora and Cam Petaway some rhythm. They'll try to get that going. Get Jalen Rayner and Zane Flores some easy balls. Do you think that there's an actual shot that there's a real QB battle here?
I mean, I like the idea of it, and I like how open that they've been with how competitive it's been. But I mean, I don't think so. I don't see it. I don't think you bring Rayner in unless you're like 99% sure that he's going to be starter day one. Yeah. So I mean, I like that Zane Flores is giving him a run for his money. I really do, and that shows the depth. But
I think people were too quick to bury him based on Oklahoma State being terrible last year.
Oh, and definitely.
I mean, he had the worst roster in the Power 5 last year, no question about it. And
definitely,
it looked like it. But we'll see. And maybe Connor Moberly's in the mix. I don't know, but I don't know. They keep saying nice things about Zane Flores. So
Yeah, it'll be cool to see how he is in the system with actual good players.
Good question here. If you could replace the first game and Jamie asked you to pick a team to play, who would you choose to play? So you get to replace the SEMO game.
See, this is a tough one because I'm always scared of just like playing a random FCS school or like a mid major or like not a Power 5, but like a Bowling Green or like an
G5,
Ohio. Yeah.
Now, granted, SEMO is not just an FCS team. They're a bad FCS team.
Yeah, they're not good. Yeah. Gosh, I don't know.
I will say I would rather replace the Bowling Green game than I would replace the SEMO game. I want, like, especially when you have so many new faces and you have everything's new. Having a game where you can work that out and just beat the shit out of SEMO because they suck, and you just let that be the tune-up game, where they can get some rhythm with all these new guys. I'm fine with keeping that because then you got to go to Kinnick the next week, which is not ideal.
That's
but if you have to play, like, if you're trying to like just chunk it out against, I don't know, Purdue, like, I mean, Purdue's not great, but like they're better than SEMO, and like Nebraska, you don't want Nebraska. Like, I'm like, Nebraska's competent.
Especially
they're gonna be an okay team. Like, they're gonna be probably an 8-win team, and they're gonna be somewhere in the 6 to 8 win team. They're just in a more established place than Iowa State is right now. And could they theoretically beat Nebraska? Maybe. But I'm not trying to like break in an entire new roster and coaching staff against a Nebraska.
I mean, I think playing the dog shit opponent first week really helps their confidence and helps the guys see what they can be. Exactly. Yeah. I don't think you want to face a team that even has a chance of going like 4-8 on the year. Like, I mean, there's just too many potential areas of concern, and especially if you get started out on a bad foot as well. It wouldn't be a great look for the first game of all new program.
I would change out the Bowling Green game, especially I would change out the one fucking next year. We got to go to Bowling Green. I would change that one out. I would probably consider changing out Bowling Green and grabbing a Purdue, or like just like a mediocre or worse Power 4 team.
I was gonna say Northwestern,
NC State,
North
Boston
Carolina.
College.
To go see Bill Belichick.
Put in Mississippi State there. See if you can beat them and just rack up an SEC win. Just because that's the only thing that matters is beating SEC teams.
Yeah.
Or like South Carolina or something like that. Some team that's just not very good. Granted, South Carolina has some athletes that would like Lenora Sellers would scare the shit out of me, and so when like Lenora Sellers and Nick Harbor would scare the shit out of me, but something like, or maybe even like a Kentucky that's also in a total rebuilding situation. I don't mind swapping. If you're going to pick an SEC team, I don't mind swapping in Kentucky there.
How would you rather play an East Coast team or a West Coast team? Because like you could go out to Cal, you could go out and play Cal, or like a.
Well, they're an East Coast team, don't you know? They're in the ACC. I think I would be. I'll tell you what. I'd rather play an East Coast team because people take East Coast teams more seriously than they take West Coast teams.
That's fair. Yeah.
If you're not a major brand like an Oregon or USC or something like that, nobody takes anybody on the West Coast seriously. Like, nobody takes Cal or Stanford or Boise State. Nobody takes them seriously.
USC is out there.
I don't want to play USC right now, but I mean, I think they're fraudulent because I think Lincoln Riley is a very mediocre coach. But Jade Maya was really good. They've got Jontez Williams now. So, I would not want to play USC. You could probably talk me into playing UCLA, maybe. just because I'm also not a believer in UCLA. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Play Minnesota. Let's play Minnesota. Fuck it. We never got the Matt Campbell PJ Flex showdown that we should have gotten. Especially but now they play this year and it's gonna be funny because they're gonna fist fight. But it would have been nice to have that here because of the history between Iowa State and Minnesota, and also the history between Campbell and Fleck. But I still want to play. If I had my choice, I would replace the Bowling Green game with Minnesota. That's what I would do.
I wouldn't mind going back out to UNLV and setting that attendance record out there one more time.
I guess. I don't know. I kind of hate Vegas, so which is funny because I'll be out there next week for a convention. But I'm not a Vegas guy. I don't really care to spend time there. Now, if it's for an Iowa State thing, I'll go. But I don't know. I'm out on Vegas as a destination. I'd rather. If you had to ask me to pick between Vegas and Shreveport, it might be a toss-up for me. I can honestly say I might pick Shreveport over Vegas, only purely as a place that is a place I've never been and is also theoretically in range of like a Baton Rouge or New Orleans or something like that. So, yeah, I don't know.
Huh. It's just fun to think about.
Give me the Gophers.
Yeah.
A home and home with Minnesota.
I don't know why we don't play like more. I don't want to say mediocre like Power 5 schools, but I mean, it always seems
because of Iowa. The reason is because we're locked into the Iowa game. If for whatever reason the Iowa series ended, we would schedule another Power 5. Like we might get a Wisconsin home and home, or a Minnesota home and home, or Nebraska or Missouri. Actually, that's who I would replace it with. Missouri. It's time to go get the telephone trophy back because Missouri sucks. And their fan base sucks. Their coach sucks. Everything about Missouri sucks. And I would like to go beat them.
Here's another one. How about A&M, Texas A&M?
A&M's probably going to be pretty decent this year. They got Marcel Reed. This year, I don't think I would want to play Texas A&M.
A couple years past, though.
Give me a couple years down the road. Give me a couple years down the road. We're more established and all this. I'm down. I'm down with that. Okay, so here we go. If you choose one team to play in the non-con to come play us in Hilton, which team are you choosing? This coming season, and like if you're playing them in a non-con, like in December.
I love the Marquette game back when we had that.
Fun. Yeah,
that was that. I mean, close matchup. Both really good teams when they play here.
Yep.
And the environment was just off the charts.
Yeah.
But obviously you can't do that because they suck now.
Yeah. We do get Purdue in Hilton this year, so that's notable. Here, you know what? You know who I want to do? Once upon a time, Iowa State hosted Michigan, and I would like to do that again. Give me the damn Michigan Wolverines. That's who I want.
I like where your head's at. I do.
I want the defending champs. I want them to come back to Hilton, and I want to beat their asses again. That's what I want to do.
If we're talking revenge, I wouldn't mind hosting Tennessee.
Tennessee's probably going to be pretty good next year, and they're probably going to be pretty fucking tall again. That might just be a real bad matchup.
Real good transfers. Yeah.
I'm not trying to do that again. I don't think.
That's fair.
I'm okay with just letting Tennessee be. I'm not angry at Tennessee. They just beat us that day. I like in theory, would I love to like play UConn and watch Dan Hurley bitch and bitch and bitch as we beat their ass by 25? Yeah, I would love to do that.
Well, I mean, we did have our shot at them back in 22 or 23 when we played them in that non-con tournament. Oh, back when we had Jaron Holmes and Oshuni, I think.
Yeah,
not in Hilton though.
That's not in Hilton, and that's with that roster is quite a bit down from the current one they're going to be going into next season with. I like the team that they're going to have next season is quite a bit better. Oh, Michigan State and Hilton would be fun. I like bringing Izzo to Hilton because I'm pretty sure Tom Izzo has never played in Hilton. I think that would be fun. I could get down with that. Michigan State, any of those I think would be UConn would be fun. But yeah, that's who I would go with. So why would you reschedule another Power 5 game? Play 2? It is stupid, but in this hypothetical scenario, that's what we're doing. Like, I'm not going to switch out Bowling Green for Akron. That's not interesting. I'm not going to be like, I'm going to get rid of SEMO so I can replace him with fucking Richmond. Like, that's nothing. That's not an interesting conversation to be had. We're talking like theoretically, who do I want to play these people because I think it'd be fun.
Here's an interesting one. Would you play North Dakota State? That's a tough call. It really is.
So North Dakota State is not as good as they used to be. They're not as dominant as they were. Because right now, the dominant teams are Montana and Montana State. Would I want any part of the Grizz? Fuck no. No. Fuck no. North Dakota State? Maybe.
North Dakota State.
Jimmy Rogers get fired up for that.
Yes.
Tyler Roll would get fired up for that, even though he was a North Dakota State guy. But he'd get fired up for playing his alma mater. I don't know. It might be fun. Would we want to play the Jackrabbits?
It could be one down the road.
I don't know.
It could be one for down the road.
Yeah.
Or we could just host Washington State too. That's another.
I'm not interested. I'm not interested in that. Like, the Wazoo fans I met in San Antonio were nice enough. The ones I did podcasts with were not all that fun to talk to. And they just, I'm good with letting them just be whiny over in that part. Let's play at Penn State. Unfortunately, I do think Penn State's roster is a little bit better spot than Iowa State's is right now. They've all played together. They've been playing with that coach. It's not a great situation. Now, let's say enough things go right. Iowa State makes a Big 12 title game. They make the playoff. Would it be fun to play Penn State in the first round? Absolutely, it would. Like, even if you lose to Penn State in the first round, just playing Penn State in the first round of the playoff would be just the biggest middle finger of all time. It would be so funny that in the first year with a brand new roster, you make it there to the exact same place. It would be so funny. Iowa State's defense probably will be better than Penn State. I think Iowa State's defense is going to be really fucking good. Like, I think Iowa State's got a top 25 defense I think they've got fairly comfortably a top 25 defense right now.
See, that's so tough. It is such a tough call because the quality of teams that we're going to play against are going to be a lot better than what they're going to be playing against. So,
Penn State's schedule is terrible.
Yeah. And so, stats wise, it might be on par. I definitely like the vibes and the potential for Iowa State to be better. But Penn State just has, they just brought in a lot of established guys and they know what they're getting. I do think Iowa State has a little bit more upside or potential upside.
I would agree.
But day one, I think Penn State's defense is better than Iowa State's right now.
I would agree with that. Yeah. I think on the season, we're going to look at the end of the season, we'll look back on them. And I think we'll look back at Iowa State's defense being better than Penn State's, but for day one, Penn State's is just going to be better because they've just got a bunch of dudes that have proven production at that level. It's just it just is what it is. But it'd be funny as shit if we played them late in the season or played them in a bowl game. That'd be pretty funny.
Jalen Raynor, 300 yards, 4 touchdowns. Rocco threw 3 picks.
And you know damn good and well at least one of them would be a pick 6.
Yeah, exactly.
If Rocco's throwing 3 picks, one or 2 of them are going the other direction.
Oh yeah, right through Eskilson's hands. right into Jaheim Singletary.
It's gonna hit Eskelson right in the fucking face mask and and just go right to Jaheim Singletary and go the other direction. It's gonna be fantastic.
Can't wait to see that.
It's gonna be great. Yeah, we're gonna meet them in. Let's see, what's a Big 12, Big 10 bowl game anymore?
Outback
Bowl. Yeah.
Or
is it the Outback?
It's
Bowl?
Not Outback anymore.
No, it's not that. It's well, the Outback Bowl used to be Big 10 SEC, but I don't know. Iowa would always play like Florida or South Carolina or something. This is where I'm at with it, is that no matter if it's in a shitty bowl game or if it's in the playoff, Iowa State and Penn State playing in the postseason would be incredibly funny. But yeah, overall though, I mean, like I'm just excited to see football. I'm excited to see there's a lot of interesting players. I'm excited to see what the offensive scheme looks like. There's very few things that could happen on Saturday that would not make me like excited, like just that would not get me fired up for football coming this fall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm just looking forward to seeing the guys and seeing how well they are put together. Seeing the confidence that they have, and seeing some of the schemes as well for what we can expect on both sides of the ball.
Yep.
And also special teams as well. Bringing back Conrarty, bringing back.
I hope they stop at the 50-yard line. One of the just stop in and say, fuck it, we're kicking, and let Kyle just rip one from like 65. I hope they do that.
How what was it? 63 against South Dakota last year?
Yeah, 63. Yep.
Yeah.
And that thing would have been good from 70. Like,
oh yeah. Was it windy for that game?
No. Yeah, it wasn't like he had a tailwind. I mean, he just smoked it. Like,
yeah.
I think so. How fast would it take for Penn State to turn? So what I can tell you is if Iowa State and Penn State met in the postseason, they would turn on him.
Oh, for sure.
They would turn on him. They just would. Like, maybe if it was in the playoff, that'd be one thing. But like, if it's anything short of the playoff and they met Iowa State in the postseason, that's no good. That's no bueno. That's no bueno for Matt Campbell.
Yeah, I mean, the expectations are just gonna be too high for him. And I mean, even if they go like 8-4, I mean, would you call that a win for them?
No, not with that
8-4, 9-3. Like, I mean,
yeah, not with that schedule. But
no.
Oh yeah, so they put out some fun clips today. But like they had some drills going on wherever. Like Keon Washington was awesome. He had some nice hits there. Mm-hmm. I just love seeing the energy in those clips. It's a good team bonding experience. Guys are fired up. I love seeing it. Just playing with good energy, because I love seeing that energy, because Jimmy Rogers is so dialed in during when the media talks to him. He's so just dialed in and like calm and reserved, and just he says what's on his mind, but he's very calm, whatever. So like seeing a little bit of fire from the team in those clips is nice, in contrast to his otherwise very like stoic demeanor. I don't know. I like seeing that.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to see the clips, but I'm gonna have to go back and take a look at that.
Yeah, no, they're good. They did some like goal line running drills and stuff like that, where linebackers and running backs lined up against each other type of thing. It's not an Oklahoma drill, but it was just kind of a goal line, 2 offensive linemen and a running back against 2 defensive linemen and a linebacker, and they got to stop them at the goal line.
Oh, yeah.
Clips were fun. It's good to see that stuff. Like I said, I'm just excited for Saturday.
For sure.
Friday night, if anybody's free, I'm going to be down at the Iowa Distillery down in Cumming, Iowa, with Jake Bren and maybe a couple other people as well. And then Saturday we'll be up at the showcase. And then for anybody, if anybody's going to Size House of Trivia on Saturday night, I will be there as well. So I've got a weekend of names.
What time are you going to be down on Friday?
That's a good question. I would guess probably sometime mid-evening, 7, 8 o'clock, something like that. 6, 7, 8, somewhere between 6 and 8 o'clock. Just depends on what's going on. I would guess somewhere in the 6 to 7 o'clock range is probably a pretty reliable. Okay. So if anyone's planning on going down there and hanging out and having some drinks, if you're in there in the 6 to 7 range, if you're in the Discord, I'll make sure to let people know when we'll all be down there.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
that's the plan.
Yeah, I was planning to head down there after work. I work in West Des Moines,
Perfect.
so it's pretty close. So
Sick.
yeah.
We'll be there. We'll be up there for the showcase. I might swing down in the Suco End Zone Club because they're having their surplus sale. So I might swing down there and see if I can find me another helmet. Yeah, they've got a surplus
sale.
They're doing a Cyclone equipment surplus sale down in the Suco End Zone Club on Saturday.
Really?
Yeah. Are you going to the showcase?
I was not planning to, but I may end up doing it. Is it free to attend or is it?
Yeah, it's free.
Oh, shit. Maybe.
Yeah, show up to Jack Trice Stadium, watch some football. It's great. Doesn't get better than that.
90% off for the Iowa State surplus sale from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m.
And I would probably recommend getting there at 9 a.m. Because if I've gone to a surplus sale before, and if you want something like a helmet, you got to be there ASAP. You got to be in line at 9 a.m.
Is it just like helmets and jerseys? And...
Helmets, jerseys, cleats, like it's like pads, stuff like it's just all the old equipment, and they sell that stuff. Towels.
That'd be cool just to have like a piece of that just for display or something.
If they've recently updated lockers, sometimes they'll have old lockers for sale.
No shit.
Yeah. Stuff like that. Yeah. Water bottles, maybe? I don't know. Yeah, it's just a bunch of old equipment you can go and buy. So like I got this guy I got at a surplus sale.
What? How much?
Way too small for me. But 130 maybe, something like that.
Wow.
This is helmet number 200. This baby's a medium. Some punter wore this bitch. But it's got the running back face mask on it. So like I'm not sure what's going on there.
Wait, what year did you get that? As I say, we could try to guess whose it was.
I'm not sure. I want to say I got it in 2019 maybe. So it might have been like the 2018. Yeah, I'm not sure. But
you knew this was going to come up eventually. Rocco's video.
Yeah. So for anybody that hasn't seen it, this Adam Brenneman guy, he did interviews with Campbell and Rocco, and I'm sure he'll do it with other people. But basically just asking, like, oh, why'd you leave Iowa State? Or whatever. And he asked Rocco back about like his decision, like when he knew he was going to come. And he explained it as like, if Mouse had been named coach, he like a bunch of the guys probably would have stayed, which we kind of knew that. Okay, we got the clip here.
Yep.
Get it unmuted there.
The whole time he was kind of telling me, "Hey, you're coming, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm coming." So he's like, "I already know you're coming." Yeah. In the back of my mind, I was like, "I knew I'm coming." The whole time he was kind of telling me.
I don't love that because between the 3 or 4 weeks between when Matt Campbell left and Rocco put his name in the transfer portal and when he actually committed to Penn State, he was at basketball games. He went and delivered a halftime or a locker room speech to the women's basketball team. Like he was doing all the stuff that would make you think hey, he might stay. And a lot of people did think it seemed like he might stay. But then assuming he's telling all the 100% truth there, basically saying that his mind was made up right away and he's stringing people along. That sucks. I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not so much, like I said, I'm over. I don't care anymore that I don't wish Matt Campbell or Rocco back or Carson Hansen or Cooper Ebel. I don't wish they were still here, but that still sucks. He kind of paraded around Ames for a few weeks, and I realized he had to graduate and all that. But he can fly back for that. He can be. That was already after finals.
Yeah, he wouldn't even have to be there to graduate.
No, I mean graduation's in December. He would have been graduated and gone, but he was still going to women's basketball games around Christmas time. It's why are you still here? If you're going to pay, if your mind's already made up, go to like leave.
Just
And
go there, start early, do whatever.
So I didn't like that. Feels bad. It's disappointing to hear from Rocco because for years he talked about how he was like committed to Iowa State and he wanted to stay here, wanted to finish career here and all that. And I think everybody understands, like, sometimes circumstances change and like it's totally understandable to want to follow your coach. Like, we all get that.
Mhm.
If he'd have just said that, like, hey, thanks Iowa State, but I want to go play for Matt Campbell. Fine. Like, we get it. Like, it is what it is. We don't love it, but we get it. But I don't know. I didn't appreciate that from Rocco because it made it just seem like, we were all on pins and needles there for a few weeks wondering if he was going to leave. And he just like trivialized that whole thing right there by saying, fuck, I was never going to stay. Like, okay.
Yeah. And I mean, like, he's the first guy to, I think he's the first guy to like publicly come out and say, like, from that angle, I guess. And it's like, I mean, you can only assume, like, like if there were any other guys that had the same mindset as well, but it's just tough. Like, I'm not going to have any disdain towards him just for the kind of guy he was. And, the value that he brought to the program. But I mean, I don't care about him. I don't care about any of the other guys anymore. Like, they can go live off in Penn State. If we meet him in the playoffs, then
I hope
they can go to hell. But, yeah. But they can just go over there and do their thing. It doesn't affect me anymore.
Yeah, it's just Rocco's legacy ended the day he left, and that's just is what it is. And and it sucks to hear him say that stuff. And like, it doesn't change that he took Iowa State to a Big 12 championship game in his sophomore season and all that. Like, it doesn't change any of that, but it is gonna, like, time heals all wounds. Even, we eventually even got over, some of the old basketball teams and stuff, like we still appreciate them. They still come back. Like, the Eustachy teams got torn apart and like they got upset, but like, they all hated each other or whatever. But then eventually they got back together and stuff like that. It's like, in enough time, we'll look back and say, wow, 2024 was an incredible season. They won 11 games, went to a Big 12 title game. There was lots of great players on that squad. But saying stuff like that, transferring does one thing, but saying stuff like that on the way out it reopens that wound and makes it take longer for that wound to heal. And those guys, unfortunately, are still in college. They're young and dumb, just like everybody else was. And they don't understand how that stuff makes us feel. They don't understand that they don't understand that stuff matters to us. This isn't, they may be functionally pro athletes now, but this isn't a pro sports team. This isn't a pro fan base. This isn't like, they're not getting paid by the league or by a team worth $1 billion. They're getting paid a hefty chunk of it. They're getting paid by us, by you and me and everybody watching the show. They're getting paid. Like, we're giving up our hard-earned dollars instead of taking this, this $50 a month and putting it towards an electric bill. We're giving it to the football team because we want them to be a good football team. Now, it's not that people are not paying their electric bills. I hope they're not paying electric bills. but like, if you're looking at me and you're not paying your electric bill because you're giving the NIL, stop giving the NIL, pay your electric bill. But, we all have things that, like, groceries to pay for and car payments to make and stuff like that. And we're donating out of our pocket because we want the team to be good, because we care about Iowa State University. We're paying the fans. This is a unique situation where the players are literally, like, the fans in the stands there's only one step between them and the athlete getting paid. This isn't the NFL where it all comes from TV revenue and all this or whatever. Like, and there's 18 steps between the fan and the player. This is about as close to this person writing a check to an athlete as it gets. And in some cases, that is exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
But like, they don't understand that. They're too young to understand that. And they're not going to get a good perspective on that. Maybe never. But I hope at some point all of them gain that perspective and understand that the words that they say on the way out affect people and they hurt, because we all put our blood, sweat, and tears into this program. You know, we all grew up suffering through terrible, terrible teams and terrible things. And we all rose with them together, and we all happily spent our hard-earned money on all that stuff, not just for tickets, but then to literally pay the players. And that's how they repay you. And that sucks. And hopefully eventually they gain that perspective. But right now they're too young and dumb to understand that. But we were all there. We were all there. We were all young and dumb in college. You know, you more recently than me because I'm old as shit. But, you know, we were all there. It happens. You grow out of it eventually, but it's going to happen because they don't understand, and that's okay. But doesn't hurt us any less.
No. I mean, give it a couple years. I mean, I'm sure it'll be water under the bridge eventually.
Once they're gone and out of college, it'll be a thing. But like, it would be annoying is like Rocco makes it to the NFL and then they're doing his Monday night infos and he said Rocco Beck, Penn State, and it's like, I mean, yes, that's where you went for one season, but you're literally you have a degree from Iowa State University. Like, let's be real here. Like, you went to Iowa State, so I don't know. It's like that kind of thing that'll there'll be little pricks here and there that's annoying. And this has actually really pissed a lot of people off too, is that there was kids that got like Rocco Beck jerseys for Christmas.
Oh yeah.
And by the time they got him, he's at Penn State. And like, that sucks. And like I said, if it's a pro player, that's just the game. They get traded, they sign. It's just it is what it is. It never used to be that way for college athletes, and nobody wants it to be that way, but it is. And that sucks.
Yep. Yeah. Hopefully you have some jersey insurance if you get that. Have you seen that? It's like where if the player gets like traded, then they'll
heard of that. Yeah, I've heard of that.
They'll give you like X amount of dollars or refund credits or something like that. That'd be cool. But no, I mean, it is what it is, and it sucks. But I think that, I mean, looking back on it, like, do I think he's going to regret making those comments? Potentially.
I don't think it'll be for a while.
Yeah.
I think it will take, at least it just takes a while for them to gain that perspective.
Yeah. Until they might not get that perspective until they're donating some of their money to a school.
Yeah.
And then they get slapped across the face if a guy does that to them. So,
yeah. Oh, do you have worries that you fall back to the Paul Rhodes era? No.
Nope. No.
Roster is in much better shape than even when Campbell took it over. It's way better shape. This is a really high-end coaching staff. They're young coaching staff that is, part of the Paul Rhodes deal is that he was an old school guy that refused to adapt to modern times. The coaching staff was old school, refused to adapt. And it was an outdated philosophy on how to do things. And, it was important for them to be here. They did important things, and Matt Campbell couldn't have done what he did unless Paul Rhodes did what he did. But this is a totally different situation. It's totally different.
I think the state of the game as well is really going to help prevent that as well. I mean, I don't think that you'll see us, especially with the transfer portal and how high school recruiting is now. I mean, it's really hard to field a really bad team if you're a Power 5 conference, and if you're a Power 4 team, I guess. It'd be really hard to field a team that bad. And I mean, we brought in a lot of guys. So, I mean, unless there's like zero chemistry and just everyone like rolls their ankle week one, like, I mean, no, but I don't have any worries about that, especially going forward.
Yeah. Yep. I would agree. Alrighty. I think we'll wrap her up for this week, though. Appreciate everybody tuning in to this week's episode of I Would Say Live here on the Voice of College Football Network. For Carter and I'm Levi. We'll see you guys all again next week. We'll have an update. We'll talk about the spring showcase, talk about what we saw and all that. So have a great rest of your week, great weekend. Hopefully we see you guys all out at the Iowa Stealing Company down in Cumming, Iowa on Friday. See you out at the game on Saturday, maybe Size House on Saturday night. and we'll be back here on YouTube next Tuesday. So everybody have a good rest of your week. Thanks.
Thanks.